Welcome, fans, to Bearcats on the Prowl on the Grueling Truth Radio Network. As always, I'm your host, James Ernest. And unfortunately, the Big 12 this week did not expand. However, the nice thing is our show is expanding this week. Dominick Goodman, who has been a contributor to the show, guest host, is now a permanent member of the show. Dominick, say hi.
Nice to have me on the show.
Well, it's our pleasure. And then, of course, always with us is Mark Fightmaster. Mark, welcome back. I know you had to take that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all good. Take a week off, and then we had Goody on, and then, of course, we had Goody's teammate C.J. Cobb last week, so all kinds of fun stuff been going on. Who's UC playing this week, Mark?
Well, this week after the bye week, we're looking at the East Carolina Pirates, fellow cellar dwellers in the American Athletic Conference with us. I think they have a 2-4 record, where ours is 3-3. And actually, they jumped out fast this season. They won their first 2 games, and then they lost their next 4. And they're actually coming off an unscheduled bye week because they were supposed to play Navy last week, but the hurricane came through and canceled their game. So you're going to get 2 teams coming off a week's rest, and 2 teams that are going to be hungry for a win in the conference. So it could be interesting.
I'll say that. You're right. That should be a good game. I mean, you were telling me some really good news before the show started about the quarterback position.
Yeah, earlier this evening, probably about two hours ago or so, saw news that Tommy Tuberville has finally pulled the trigger and put Gunner Kiel in to start. Didn't get to see a lot of his comments on it, but he talked about how Gunner has earned the starting spot back. So, again, we can only speculate at why he didn't have the starting spot in the first place. And, the city is rampant with speculation over that. But he's back in. So it can only serve to bolster the passing attack. I mean, and the thing is, UC's passing was not doing poorly. I mean, they're rated 32nd in the NCAA coming into this week. So hopefully that's going to help propel them even further.
And you mentioned teams that are doing well in passing. ECU, they're rated like 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, they're the 3rd overall in the NCAA, and I'll tell you what, they looking at their stats, you got to watch out for this youngster named Zay Jones. He has 84 catches on the year, 840 yards, 10 yards a catch. He's their top target, followed by a young man named Jimmy Williams. He seems to be more of their deep threat. He's averaging almost 24 yards a catch. And then they got another guy, his name is Quay Johnson. He's averaging 10.4 yards a catch, and followed up by DeAndre Ferrier, who is averaging 18 yards a catch. I mean, this team will throw it a lot. Now, the question is if their quarterback's back. Philip Johnson, I believe is his name. He was injured a couple weeks ago. So we'll have to see if Nelson is his last name. We'll have to see if Nelson is indeed back after the week's rest when the game against Navy was canceled. Because if he's back with that passing attack, it's going to pose some problems for the UC defense.
So Goody, obviously you would prefer a game with a lot of passing, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with that, especially being a receiver.
Definitely. So what type of strategy do you think, with working Gunner Kiel back into the offense, do you think they should take?
You talking to me?
Yes, yeah, Goody. Do you think they should try it deep early, or do you feel that they need to start with short routes to kind of get them back into the groove? What's your opinion? What would you recommend?
No, it also helped with the running game. Do better on the running game, so help them out a little bit more. But probably start them off with a couple of short routes, quick game, get them back in the rhythm, get them comfortable, and then see how the game goes, and then start opening them up. So are you thinking like maybe some quick slants, quick hits kind of routes, just more timing so he can get into a rhythm and then start opening it up?
Yeah, exactly. So just to get his confidence going throughout the game, to get him going.
Okay.
Actually, you'd mentioned about the ECU and the bye week and all that. Originally, we had Dakota Marshall scheduled to be our guest, and I was looking through his Facebook, and shoot, no wonder, they were saying about that bad weather. He's got some photos on there where it looks like it's just pouring down when the stands are empty right before the game they tried to put on.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then what was it? It was NC State Notre Dame. They actually played during that, and that was just brutal. I mean, that was just ridiculous. It looked like they were playing in a torrential downpour. So
that makes more sense now. Yeah, so I guess he was at that game. Because, okay. I thought it was odd, that they had the Notre Dame mascot at the ECU Navy game. I was like, why are you? Oh, yeah, because he was up the street at the other one. But,
it was crazy. I mean, it was absolutely crazy watching that on TV. So, I mean, and again, like I said, the bye is going to work well for both teams. I mean, hopefully the Gunner Kiel decision was made last week so they could have a week to practice with him. And he's just announcing it now, but also for ECU, like I had said, it's going to give them a chance to get Philip Nelson healthy and get that passing game going, because UC's passing defense is rated, I think, 94th, did I see? Yeah, the passing defense rated 94th, giving up 262 yards a game, where East Carolina is averaging 378 yards a game. I mean, this is going to be at least on one side of the ball, airing it out. And then, like Goody said, maybe UC is going to use the run a little bit to set up the pass. But, I remember Gunner Kiel can throw the ball. So this could be a fun game, a shootout kind of game.
So, Goody, what was your experience, with a bye week? Did it help? Did it hinder? Do you have any good bye week stories of, just odd things happening?
Bye weeks pretty much help. Especially it helps with getting everybody back from who got some nicks and bangs, getting them healthy, and give you another week to game plan. People think like buys, you just forget about the next opponent for a week. Nah, they think about it, giving 2 weeks to get ready for the next opponent. So they probably had 2 weeks to get prepared for ECU. So pretty much still the same thing. You just get a little bit more time off, but you just more in the office, meeting and watching film and getting game plan, getting ready for the opponent.
Gotcha.
So in your current league, I know with the NFL they have usually one bye week a year. College is kind of random on the bye weeks. With the AFL, how's the bye weeks work up there?
We get at least 2 bye weeks. One is around the July 4th weekend, and it's somewhere around in the beginning or towards the end of the season. And we pretty much we get the week off, so we all just head home to our families and just rest up and just be with the family. So it kind of hurts you getting ready for the next game because you didn't practice that week, you didn't game plan, so you're coming back and you kind of like still relax from the whole bye week and everything. So it kind of hurts and it kind of helps at the same time.
So with the health aspect, it helps you, but with the focus, it could take some focus away from the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, was it tough getting back in focus? I mean, we're dealing with young kids here. We're dealing with college-age kids. When you had your bye weeks, did you find it harder to get back into the swing of things?
Not really, a little bit, but it's kind of like you keep the same routine. They give you a couple.
Okay.
They give you a Sunday off or something, but it's kind of pretty much the same routine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I imagine you get you said your film study and all that, so you probably keep your same meeting schedule and everything. So,
yeah.
All right. Cool.
So let's go over our predictions for the game. Mark, what do you think?
Well, I already said I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be high scoring. We got two teams that are both going to be hungry for a win. The season hasn't gone the way either of them wanted it to. Gunner Kiel, he's going to be out to prove something. He's going to be out to prove that if he'd been playing this whole time, maybe the record would be different. He's a young guy, so he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think the advantage is going to come down to UC playing at home. I believe this is the homecoming game. So I could see something in the range of, 35 to 31 UC, something of that sort. A lot of points put up, and I think the Cats are going to come through this week.
So how about you, Goody? What do you think?
I agree with the same thing. It's going to be a high-scoring game. And also Gunner Kiel, he knows the offense. He's a veteran with it, so he he throws the ball real well and he can get it done. So I kind of think it's going to be, maybe 38, 34. UC.
Yep. I was going to say, I, on the other hand, am contrarian, so I'm going to go the other direction. Yes, I'm going to say 48-44 East Carolina.
Man, you like those points, man.
But, yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna score like crazy. He's gonna be out. He's gonna be out for blood. He's gonna want to get that record back that Moore took from him at Memphis. I can see that. Yeah. And, of course, with ECU being able to move the ball at will, unfortunately, unless Mike Tyson steps up and knocks a couple people out, which would be nice. Wouldn't mind seeing that in Edwards. Takes a couple people out early on. But if not, it should be very fast-paced. And I agree with both you gentlemen that, they're definitely gonna score in bunches.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those almost like a video game style game, where they're gonna score. There's gonna be points everywhere and defense and maybe even non-existent, but it'll be fun to watch.
It'll have the whole Madden feel to it, or the NCAA football game.
Exactly. And I say it'll be fun to watch unless you're a proponent of the Woody Hayes 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Then you might lose it. But I think it'll be a fun game.
Exactly. They'll be spreading out the offenses and throwing the ball around.
Yeah.
Speaking about, you mentioned the game being like a video game. Goody, you've been on, I know you were on the NCAA series. Were you in the AFL when they had the AFL games, or were you in after those?
I was after those. I know there's a lot of talk about it because the quarterback I played with, John Dutton, was on the cover of one. Mm-hmm. So it was matter of fact, we actually got a chance to play it on the Nintendo 64. One of our equipment managers had it in the locker room, and we just playing on there. And I forgot how big the controllers were, but it was real fun to play the game on there.
Oh, definitely. It's always nice to try the old systems again.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, because shooting, and there's always rumors that they're going to get the NCAA series back up. It's just they need to figure out the whole structure on paying the players and how to compensate them. But I think what kind of worked with that lawsuit is how they paid them after they graduated. Obviously, NCAA has got rules that I don't agree with, but if they could do that, they could have the game and then send them the check the next year after they graduate, or 2 years after they graduate, to not violate any rules.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go full video game geek on you, but I love that NCAA series. You can have your Madden, you can take that. That NCAA football series was something to play, man. That was ahead of its time. It was a good game series. I'd love to see that come back.
Yeah, me too. All my buddies, y'all still talking about it. Like, Madden's cool, but it's just with that NCAA with the Road to Glory and all that stuff on there. I could be up all night playing that.
Yeah. And, hell, you can run the option. I mean, come on. So I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had so much control over the playbook compared to what Madden can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Goody, when they had the game out, did you play as yourself, or did you pick a different college?
I play with myself sometimes, but my buddies did it most of the time. They play with me all the time. My buddies did, but I like to play with Virginia Tech on there because Michael Vick back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, both him and his brother were amazing on those video games.
Yeah, they
Michael
were.
And Marcus. Yeah, those guys could. It was a nice change of pace compared to just the normal drop back quarterback.
Yeah, especially when you get them out in the space, there's no touching them.
Excellent. Well, I was going to say it's been a fun show. Unfortunately, our guest was not able to join us this week, but I do want to cover before we go just a couple because the nice thing is we have so many upcoming guests. I am thrilled. But next week we have Anthony Hoke. We have Brandon Mitchell the following week. In November 9th, we start basketball coverage with Terry Nelson and, of course, the Birdman covering football with us. So we got some fun stuff coming up. As always, actually, now that you're a full member, we don't have to say thank you every time, but we're definitely glad to have you on the show, Goody. And, Mark, you're great as always. So
thank you, sir.
I would like to thank the fans for checking us out, and hopefully they will check us out again next week.